What's up, everybody? I'm John Hoover. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Our new reality, it has been weird. Be happy to admit. Everybody's working from home. You know, we're all cooped up. I'm getting kind of cabin fever myself, but I'll tell you this, my situation's probably a little different than yours. I grew up in Alaska, North Pole, Alaska, so that was the cold part. And cabin fever was, I'm telling you, it was just something we dealt with. Plus, you know what, since 97, I've been a sports writer, and all the teams that I've covered for basically the last 23 years, they've been out of town. So, yeah, I've worked at home for like 3 days, 4 days, 5 days a week sometimes for a long time now. This is nothing new to me. Now, having your family at home while you're trying to do some work, it's a little bit different story. But, hey, if you want to check out the work we've been doing at SI Sooners, go over to allsooners.com where, you know what, pandemic, quarantine or not, we've been super busy. No doubt about it. Real quick, if you guys want more videos like this, please consider subscribing to this channel or hit that notifications bell so you will be the first to know when I post a new video. We got them going up all the time. Also, please click the like button. Leave me a comment down below. For a small YouTuber like me, I'm telling you guys, these things really help. Find me on Twitter at John E. Hoover or on Facebook at John E. Hoover Media. Okay, let's get to it. So one of my favorite things I have done over the last few years, and really I've decided kind of my whole career, is just now starting to wind down. And if you missed it, I'm sorry. I really think you're going to like this. It's the top 20 NFL Sooners over the last 20 years. We've done a countdown, started with number 20. We're going to hit number 1 next Thursday. That's because that's the first day of this year's NFL draft. So I've really enjoyed putting this together because, basically I've covered every one of these guys, some or part or all of their football careers over the last 20 years. And I got to tell you, going back through my archives, through my stack of media guides, which is these things over my shoulder here, plus there's a stack of about 3 feet tall underneath those, you get to relive a lot of those memories. You get to talk to various players and look up their stats and their careers. And I know how much Oklahoma Sooner football means to so many people around here. And to get to chronicle even just a little slice of that rich history has been a real privilege for me. I've really enjoyed it. So I brought that back for some of you guys in, small, readable, watchable, digestible bites over at sisooners.com. And keep in mind, these are just the best of the last 20 years, basically since the 2000 NFL draft, which encompasses, if you think about it, all of the Bob Stoops era, Lincoln Riley era. We rank them based not on their college days, but what they've done in the NFL. So here's our countdown so far. At number 20, long snapper, James Winchester. And I want you to look out for more from him very soon. Number 19, Sam Bradford. Unbelievably good college career. Didn't have a lot of success in the NFL. Number 18, defensive tackle Jordan Phillips. Led the NFL tackles last year in quarterback sacks. 17, Joe Mixon, back-to-back 1,100-yard season, still very early in his career. Number 16, Tress Way, arguably the best Sooner at his position in the NFL right now. Number 15, Phil Lodeholt, retired after just 6 NFL seasons, but was a fantastic player. 14, Tony Jefferson, a run-stopping safety. 13, Kenny Stills, his guy. Active in the community and on the football field. Number 12, Jamal Brown, came to OU as a defensive tackle, but made the Pro Bowl as an offensive tackle. Number 11, Jermaine Gresham, local kid who might be the second best tight end in school history, Keith Jackson. Number 10, Curtis Lofton, almost was an Oklahoma State Cowboy, if only Les Miles would have answered the phone, right? Number 9 was Chris Chester, made one of the most dramatic plays in the Stoops era, and then played 11 seasons in the NFL at a different position. Number 8, Davin Joseph, also came to OU to play defense, but switched to offense and made the Pro Bowl. Number 7, Tommy Harris, one of the 2 guys I've covered who really could have played in the NFL right out of high school. And then Saturday, tomorrow, we're going to reveal our number 6, another player who came to Oklahoma having a bunch of different positions in his history, but finally settled on one and became the highest paid NFL player at his position. That means you're going to have to go to our website, allsooners.com, sisooners.com, as we reveal our top 5 next week. Trust me, you're going to want to read that, and you're going to want to watch our videos as my deputy editor, Parker Thune, and I debate the rankings. It's been fun. Now listen, just today I got off the phone with 2 of the top 5 doing interviews, and they all told me all about their days at OU and in the NFL and what they're doing now. It's been a blast to catch up with those guys and kind of reminisce about their careers. And you know what? Speaking of Parker, Those are the old Sooners. Let's talk about the future Sooners. Parker's been killing it with his coverage of recruiting in the past few weeks. Every time OU offers a scholarship, Parker reaches out to the kid, gets his high school coach, and more often than not, we have a story on the website that day or the next day. And OU coaches, I'm telling you, they've been pretty busy handing out the offers lately, and Parker has written a lot about cornerbacks and tackles and safeties and offensive line and defensive line and linebackers and so on. And then I wrote yesterday about a walk-on offensive lineman from Oklahoma City, Ben Tallwater. His coach told me that he is a diamond in the rough. Sounded very confident. You know, kid started at football his sophomore year. He didn't go to a lot of camps, played at 4 different positions in 3 years on the high school team at Bishop McGuinness. But get this, 6'3", he's about 280 pounds. He's athletic, played basketball. He told me he just wants to play anywhere. He said he's going to put in the work, see where it takes him. I like that attitude. His coach told me that he wouldn't be surprised to see him starting when he's a junior or senior. So, yeah, that should be fun to watch how that plays out. As I mentioned, the NFL draft is coming up next week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and I think you can count on CeeDee Lamb being the first Sooner taken. I think CeeDee's got a real chance to be the first wide receiver taken in this year's draft as well, ahead of Henry Ruggs, ahead of Jerry Jeudy, ahead of Laviska Shenault and T. Higgins and Justin Jefferson and Michael Pittman and KJ Hamler. Those are all those guys are such good players, and this class of receivers might be the best of all time. Every one of those guys I just named has a chance, I think, of being a first rounder. There probably won't be 9 wideouts drafted in the first round. I'm just saying, of those 9, any of them I think could go in the first round. And remember, once one team makes its pick at a position where there's a lot of talented guys available, there's often a run on that position. So, you know what? I'm just saying. I think you can also count on Kenneth Murray to go in the first round. You don't know where, obviously, when you start talking about the bottom third of the first round, the last 10 picks or so. Teams start trading or considering other options. You got San Diego, Jacksonville, New England, Denver, New Orleans. There's been talk about him going there. Houston. There's really a lot of teams that are in the market for a guy that I personally think could be a franchise cornerstone for the next decade or so. And while I do think Kenneth Murray's a very good player, I'm actually talking about a character guy, a focused guy, a mature guy, a guy that, you know, a team wants to really nail down as one of the leaders and maybe a face of the franchise. Kenneth Murray's got that. His dad was a Baptist minister. His mom was a police officer. And when Kenneth was 10 years old, they adopted 3 special needs kids. And that, I think, taught young Kenneth about, accountability, maturity, leadership. He also learned a lot about love in that situation. And I think those things come together to make him the kind of guy that an NFL team really wants. And you know what else? He's a really good linebacker. Neville Gallimore, I think, he's probably going to be a second rounder, although a few teams who are drafting late in the first round, they've reportedly become kind of smitten with him. So don't rule that out. And then our guy, Jalen Hurts. Mel Kiper told us this week that Hurts is potentially a late first, early second round guy. That would be something. But he said he would definitely be gone by the second round. You think about how far Hurts has come as a passer in the last 3 years, how much he progressed under Lincoln Riley. I can absolutely see where a team thinks that they can continue that trajectory for Jalen. Coach him up, teach him how to read NFL defenses. I could see that happening in this draft. Second round, maybe, possibly third round. I think Jalen is more of a long-term career backup. But you know what? Once he gets in an NFL camp, I'd like to see him work on defenses as kind of a slash player, running, throwing, maybe even catching the football. I think he's got a chance. He's the ideal kind of change of pace weapon going against those defenses that, make players like Taysom Hill and what the Ravens did last year with Lamar Jackson, coach him up, put him in the right place. I'm telling you, I could see him having success in the right situation. We've got a ton of stories on those guys and a lot more at sisooners.com. All you got to do is go to the homepage. It's easy. Just scroll down. Free access. Don't got to sign up. That's also where you're going to find the weekly journal of the #1 quarterback in the country in the 2021 recruiting class, Caleb Williams out of Washington, D.C. Caleb writes a journal exclusively for Sports Illustrated every Monday. And you know what? You can read Parker's story about that every week. This week, Caleb says he seems to really be taking a shine to Oklahoma and Lincoln Riley. A couple other stories I want to tell you about at SI Sooners. OU lost 2 basketball players in the transfer portal last week in Corbin Merritt and Jamal Bieniemy. Well, they also added 2 to the roster this week and made it official on signing day when Umoja Gibson from North Texas and Elijah Harkness from Cal State Northridge joined the team. Couple of guards. I think you'll see Gibson, who's about 6'1". I think you're going to see him share some point guard duties with Davion Harmon. Gibson can definitely fill it up from outside. 35, 38, 39% three-point shooter last year. And while they both scored in double figures last year, both guys, they're both known as real pesky kind of on-ball defenders. Now, Harkless, who's 6'4", he actually led the Big West Conference in steals last year, more of a swingman. But here's the thing. Both guys are hoping that the NCAA one-time transfer waiver rule passes next month. They're going to vote on it in May. And if they pass it, both guys are going to be eligible to play in 2021. If not, then they're going to have to apply for some kind of hardship waiver, and then the reality is that they may not get to play at OU until 21-22. So we will know more come May. Again, you can find all that at sisooners.allsooners.com. And you know what? As long as you're there, you should probably read about the stuff we wrote about Joe Castiglione and how he and the school are handling the quarantine. He gave an hour-long media teleconference last Thursday. And, of course, you know, we talked about the possibility of playing college football in 2020 or maybe even the spring of 2021. Who knows? You know what? Football season, it could get a little weird next year, this year, because, you know what? I'm confident, though, they're going to have football season because college athletics, as you know, is entirely dependent on the money that football generates. So they're going to do everything in their power, believe me, to play the game. When they play it, we don't know. And then, but you know what? Friday morning after that, Joe C. called me back to clarify how he's going to handle paying for scholarships for spring sports next year for the seniors who had their seasons ended by the pandemic shutdown. It's the very same day that Wisconsin comes out and says they're telling their 2020 seniors to get on with their lives and move along and thank you for your contributions. Joe C. comes out and says OU is going to pay for whoever wants to come back next year in whatever sport. Now, listen, I'll tell you this. As the dad of a college soccer player who thankfully graduated last year, I don't know if I could put into words what that gesture means. Not just to the student athletes either, but to their families as well. It's so big time. That's it for today. Remember, if you like this video, please hit the like button, leave a comment down below, or share it in your social media channels, and be sure and tag me. I'll share it as well. Follow me on Twitter at John E. Hoover or on Facebook at John E. Hoover Media. And remember, SI Sooners is free. We do have a community section, just like a message board. All you got to do is click follow or click on the notifications bell icon at the top. SI Sooners, allsooners.com. Thanks for watching. See you guys.